All right, good morning, good everybody. Good morning, everybody. I know I'm logging on about a minute early. We're going to give everybody about 5 minutes or so to pop on, see the notifications, and everything. Today's training is going to be really neat. It's going to go over open houses, mega open houses, and truly how to bring massive traffic and actually get people to sign into your open houses. So we'll get going here about 10:05. And then if anybody knows the details about how to get the Google Hangouts portion of the YouTube live comments to kind of merge or to be able to see both at the same time, because I'm having to get on my phone right now for YouTube because I don't know, I can't see the comments otherwise. Yeah, so if anybody knows that trick, let me know. Hello, sir.
Going.
Good. I mean, I'm not going to be in here by myself today? Yay! I love trainings where I'm not by myself.
I was just finishing stuff.
You know what's really cool? Guess how many people already watched yesterday's meeting? 16.
Really?
Yeah, so that means,
All of our agents, hopefully.
well, and I'm guessing people who even aren't our agents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's,
can't complain.
yeah.
Oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I need to turn this down. Okay, so I'm going to be able to see the chat here. So cool. All right. Yeah, just giving a couple minutes to see if anybody's going to pop on. I wonder if the one viewer is me, technically, at the moment.
Possibly.
Because I'm on YouTube. Does it register from YouTube or no?
Yeah. You're because that's right there. What you're showing, that's the YouTube's like video. That's just showing you how many viewers are watching the YouTube video. It doesn't show how many is watching the actual podcast.
Okay. Interesting. Hey, my hair looks pretty good today. Being on video makes you so self-conscious of so many things. But either way, pretty sure the quote-unquote who would be classified as like the most beautiful people in the world probably still have hang-ups about themselves too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Well, I'm getting a little quote-unquote impatient. I don't sit down for 5 minutes without doing something.
Yeah.
So, if you want, let's go ahead and let's start off with just a few kind of tidbits about open houses, right? So, for new agents, okay, it is truly one of the best, right? What are some of the benefits you could see that would make an open house great, especially for a new agent?
Exposure. It's kind of like a storefront. You're bringing to see your services, to actually use your services, hopefully to gain, I don't know, hopefully your sphere of influence by that way.
Yeah. Is there anything much stronger than a face-to-face meeting with people? No. And the likelihood of, let's say you have 50 people come into your open house, what's the likelihood of a few of them probably being pretty motivated buyers at that point in time? A lot of people will come into an open house, but if you get 50 of them, chances are you found some motivated buyers in that mix.
Yeah.
Right? And so it is the closest thing to a storefront. Next to that, what's the next closest thing to a storefront we might have? Exactly. Yeah. Your website's the only other thing that's out there and open that people will come to and give you information, hopefully, and say, give me, show me stuff.
Yeah.
So open houses beat the internet on one capacity dramatically. Okay, what's the ratio right now nationally of people converting internet leads? Oh no, way lower, unfortunately.
I don't remember what you were saying.
Your national average, okay, of an internet lead conversion is about 2 to 3%.
Okay.
So if you get 100 leads, over time, you're going to convert 2 to 3. Good agents, 5. Like teams with the greatest systems in place, 10%. But that's a stretch, and they have the best systems in the world to get 10%. Right? So 1 out of 10, good agents, 1 out of 20, average 2 or 3%, right? Open houses, if you're good, are 1 out of every 18. And in a matter of 4 hours, you can get how many people through your door coming into you, signing in and giving you information, right? And those people are face-to-face. Some of them might be ready to go, right? So right off the bat, 1 out of every 18 is basically that 5%. It actually beats it just by a little bit. So it's automatically between that 5 and 10% marker. So it automatically is almost double if you go off of the 2 or 3% than internet leads.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. The only thing truly stronger would be your sphere, which if you meet enough people, get face-to-face with enough people, guess what they turn into? Sphere, referrals, everything, right? So open houses, man, they're just great, okay? Technically, other than like open house signs, does it require much money to do an open house? No. Hopefully you'll find somebody who could hook you up with signs, and you could literally do them for free, right? Is there a limit to times and days you could do them in general?
No, there's some better than others, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, right? Let's say it's dead at an open house. Would you be available to maybe make phone calls? Yeah. To maybe, do some other work to help? So even if it's slow at an open house, you're either going to be slow at an office or slow somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
Or you could be slow at an open house and actually have the potential of people coming through. So here's an idea for a new agent starting off, or any agent for that matter. Could you make your office an open house 5 days a week potentially?
Yeah, technically you could.
Okay, and over the course of, let's say, a year, how many more people do you think would walk through your doors at your open houses than your office or your home office or whatever it might be?
A lot more.
I don't have any signs in front of my home office, so if I'm making calls, I doubt anybody's going to walk in. If somebody does, they're going to be in trouble. On the flip side, that is a storefront, right? And you have how many signs out in front driving people to you?
25.
Yeah. And if you're tackling a neighborhood weekly, are they going to start to get to know you probably?
Oh, yeah.
So benefits to an open house, pretty huge. Pretty huge, especially for a new agent. There are some of the top agents in the country that still do 4 or 5 open houses a week. And guess what? That's why they're the top agents in the country.
Yeah.
They sell millions and millions. The one I'm thinking of right off the top of my head, I think last year, single agent sold $56 million. And that was his main source of business. He just did open house after open house. He'd do either one in the morning and show homes in the afternoon, or he would strategically plan an evening open house and take people out like in the mornings, basically. And then every weekend, you best believe, if he wasn't taking people out, he was holding an open house somewhere.
Awesome.
Heck yeah. All right. If you do 5 open houses a week for 1 month straight, I'm willing to put a bet on that you will have something in escrow within that second month.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet on it.
Yeah.
Most agents take much longer to get stuff going. And who knows, it might be even sooner. I mean, literally, you never know. It could be the very next person who walks in the door.
Yeah. Really cool.
Every single time. It's amazing, right? I've had some of the best open houses ever. I've gotten several. I wish I'd kept better track earlier on as an agent, right? My tracking as of late, the last probably 4 or 5 years has been impeccable. But my first 6 years as an agent, I will admit, I was great at my systems. But when I would do an open house, I just keep track of my list, right? I didn't actually track, okay, this person's from open house, this one's from open house. But I'm willing to bet I had that one where we had, I think it was somewhere between like 50, 60 people through the door. I got 4 people from that who were qualified buyers. Okay. So that one open house, and I'm trying to remember if it was all 4, but I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, I could take that one open house to 2 sales specifically. And then since then, I know I've helped one of those again at least twice.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. Mom, when she first got started in the business, it's almost 10 minutes after. Oh, we keep going. Mom, when she got started in the business, she had the perfect situation. Held an open house for, I think it was her first listing. Okay. Guess what? She found a buyer from her open house. Boom. Guess what that buyer had to do? Sell their home. Mom literally got a 3 for a deal from one of her first open houses, and that's how she hit the ground running.
Awesome.
It's amazing.
It's a perfect way to hit the ground running.
Put yourself out there. It's amazing how many great things will happen.
Yeah.
It's neat. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, there's a lot to open houses from many different perspectives. as a new agent or for many agents, doesn't matter how long you've been in the business, many brokerages may not allow you to do an open house at other agents' brokerages. You'll have to speak to your broker there. But as a whole, any agent can do an open house given permission, okay, at any property.
Yeah.
If you have the brokerage's permission / the owner, you can do an open house at any property, okay? So if you have a listing, obviously do that, try to sell the crap out of it. But there's good and bad, and we're just being honest, okay? I'm not trying to sell a listing right now specifically, okay? So we're being honest. Does every listing have a great location? No. You might have 12 turns to get to particular homes.
Yeah.
On the flip side, is every home wonderfully priced? Unfortunately, not either, right? Okay. Is every home the perfect home that you would ideally want to sell? 3 or 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,000 square feet, on the surface, boom, it's a decent home, right? No. You have oddball homes, old homes, crazy homes, huge homes, all kinds of homes, right? So are there a lot of outstanding factors that may or may not be in our control if we're only going to do open houses on our specific listings? Okay. Is that bad? No, you should do everything you can. But what if you do 1 or 2 a week there and you can do an open house on a home of your choice, right? So let's pick that. Let's find that particular home. Okay. What is the perfect open house home? In a perfect world, what would be the one you would do? Hey, Daryl. What would be it? Actually, here, I'll unmute you if you want to chat, because yeah, I like chatting with you too, Daryl. So, oops, how do you do that? Didn't I unmute it? Am I stuck?
I don't know.
I guess you're muted and you're just muted. My bad. Sorry about that.
I'm gonna go to the top and unmute it.
Sorry about that, Daryl. I didn't mean to mute you permanently. My bad. Okay. Well, if you can, type in. In a perfect world, what would be the best? Yeah. What would be your perfect open house? Like, what kind of home would you do? What would be the location, area, etc.?
Probably would have to be maybe, like you said, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot, maybe centrally located around.
Yeah.
Maybe like Central Avenue area.
Okay, so yeah, we don't have to go quite that close into location, but that's perfect. Yeah. You want the prime locations if possible, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
But to be a little more generic, like 2 or 3 turns. Let's say you're coming down Bell Road, you have to make a right into the subdivision, right? And then you might have to make 1 turn, and then maybe 1 more turn.
Yeah.
Right. That would be great. Just a couple signs, boom, home. Right. Okay. On the flip side, McKnight, if you come in, for example, on that home, you could come in one direction. It would have 8 or 9 turns. Literally, if you come in off of Union Hills on one of them. On the flip side, if you come in off of McKnight or off of 67th, there's only 2 or 3 turns.
Okay.
Like you make a right, a left, and a right, and that's it. Right. So if you have to get 12 turns, that's a lot of signs, that's a lot of effort, and you might lose people. On the other side, if you can have one that's right off of like Union Hills, one of the major roads, right, and you could stack 15 signs along that major road at one of the main locations, like any of your 7th Avenues or 67th, one of the bigger avenues, how much traffic goes through there? Wow. So if you could stack it with 20 some odd signs there and only have 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 here, 2 or 3 here for turns, boom, 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 boom. That's a convenient jaunt. People will make 1 turn, then 1 turn. It's like, oh, there's the house. Great. They'll stop.
Yeah.
It's just a much, much better scenario. And that's something you can choose. Right. So yeah, let's say he's saying 300 with pool 3-2, no gated entry. Absolutely. Yeah. Ideal sign placement. Yeah. See, Union Hills has a lot more traffic. That is the catch there. So you could go 67 to kind of be stuck with what's that, which is not bad. But if you really have that other great location, you could actually tackle 67th and Union Hills if you have enough signs. And then what did you just do? Double your flow, right? So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen because I brought up a neighborhood. And let's figure out of these, which one we kind of think would be the best open house. Where are you? Okay, so here we have, I pulled up Arrowhead Lakes. Okay, it's one of my favorite subdivisions in general. And it's beautiful because it has the pools, not the pools, the lakes and everything. And it's not a huge subdivision, for example. Okay, so let's go ahead and kind of focus on the front portion. Okay, so you have over here, you got 51st Avenue. And then over here, you got 59th Avenue. Okay, so as we come in, and we can actually do the satellite view here. Okay, so this home right here, okay, 20258 North 57th Avenue. If we zoom in on that area, we can kind of get a feel, right? Come right up 59th Avenue, make a right, come up a bit, make another right. Look at that, house is right there. Not too shabby, huh? Okay. Now, as much as I'd love to say Beardsley is a wonderful location, that's actually the 101 freeway. So you're not actually getting any major traffic except for who's coming on and off the freeway, right? So although anything over here might be decent, it's honestly probably not going to get the most traffic, right? But over here, 59th, boom, that's a major intersection. You've got several things here. You've got Fry's over here. I mean, it's a wonderful spot. So on the surface, that seems to be a great one. Then we got a few over here, back off of Beardsley, for example. So let's see this one off of 51st Avenue. Okay, so you're coming up 51st. Then you got to come up what appears to be a little ways. There you go. So they come in right there off of Tonopah. They got one right here off of Tonopah. Okay, that's not bad. And then over here, you just come around the bend and you've got one here off Pontiac and the other one off Pontiac. Okay, so let's just take those four, for example. And I have to admit, I live in the area right here, so I'm very familiar with that intersection. So I do know how many cars are, there. So which one would you think of this sample of 4 homes? Would we do Pontiac? Which one was it? 59th over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, 57th. Or would we do Tonopah?
Or maybe 57th. Either 57th or Tonopah.
Okay.
The Tonopah is like right when you turn into the subdivision, straight down the street.
Okay.
And 57th is, like you said, it's 2 rights and you're there.
Okay. Let's see, just seeing if I was going to say anything. We got several factors at play when it comes to these. So let's break those down. Number 1, what type of home is it? Right? So there's a few more questions I think we should ask just to be on the safe side, because going off of location purely, I would say 57th or Tonopah, hands down, right? But let's factor in how much traffic is coming off of 51st, how much traffic is coming off of 59th, and then the homes themselves, right? So let's take Tonopah. What was this address? Okay. So, this one's UCB. Cool, 5219 West Tonopah. Okay, so we got a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,200 square feet. Price per square foot at $191.97. It has a pool and a 2-car garage. Yeah. Views of the lake greet you. That's not bad at all. Okay, so let's come back. Check out the other one. Oh, yeah, I went too high. There we go. Okay, active. Okay, we got a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,190 square feet, only $168.90 a square foot. It has a pool and a 3-car garage. So it's priced decently per square foot. It has the 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. Overall, right now, what would you say?
That one probably.
Yeah, discount the fact that that other one is UCB or under contract. If it was active, on the surface.
But then again, it depends on, well, I mean, your client would rather have the lake view or a non-lake view.
Yeah, but you're trying to find a home. Exactly.
Yeah, this one, if I were to just do an open house, I would do this one.
Yeah. So would you think that more people would be more concerned with the view, or would more people be concerned with price? See, that's a great question, actually. You know, because if you walk into that gorgeous home and you see that lake view, obviously, right? It's worth more money.
Yeah.
On the surface, are people going to notice that or not? That's a good question.
Depends.
You know, if you have a wonderful picture on all of your marketing material that shows that lake, people will know.
Yeah.
Right? But on the surface, what we were looking at, it just happened to be on the lake, and it just, you know, it came up that way.
Yeah.
Right? So, yeah, that actually brings up a really good question. But I think the traffic count is what's going to put that over. Right?
That one would be a better option then.
So, well, they're both great. They both fit the criteria. They're both value. One has a lakefront, which definitely warrants that higher price. There's no doubt about it. And that's probably why it is UCB, because it is on the lake. This one appears to back to the shopping center.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that definitely goes against it a little bit, right? So these are the things we get to factor in. What is going to be the easiest one to sell overall, or which one's going to just get so much traffic that it doesn't even matter anymore, right?
I would imagine the lake view one a lot of traffic, just because people want to come and see the view.
But from your open house signs, do people know?
Exactly. And then
they just know it's a home.
You know, put a bunch of signs all over 57th and, would you say Beardsley area? Yeah, and then I would imagine you would get a lot of traffic going that way because people are going to the shopping complexes, going to Fry's, going shopping, you know.
Yeah. See, the thing with this one that kind of throws the kink into the mix is that 51st Avenue over here is not a major road anymore.
Exactly.
Once you get on the north side, it's just homes, and then you got a business over here. You got a bunch of like medical buildings and things like that, right? So the traffic count, if you're catching the right time, people coming to and from work, for example, putting the signs right here on 51st Avenue, driving them right into Tonopah, boom, 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 right to the house, that would probably be a great open house. But you're relying purely on the traffic coming to and from, or getting off the freeway there, basically, right? Or coming up to the freeway and getting them to continue going straight, which is probably not the easiest battle because they don't know it's a waterfront home. It could be any home at that point in time. If only we could put a picture, you know, right above each open house sign or whatever. So that being said, all things being equal, 59th Avenue, though, has stuff everywhere. You've got nice shopping center here, great shopping center here, great shopping center here, right? So if you catch people coming off the freeway all the way up, right up to, right up to Mohawk right here, which is the first major road, and you've got restaurants, you've got all kinds of great stuff right here, like Dillon's, for example. So you make a right, and then you make a right. I would say you're going to get 10 times the amount of traffic flow with your signs coming off of 59th Avenue. I would take this one, even with a slightly lesser home, for the traffic count. That's my personal opinion.
Okay.
And because you got the one turn there and then 2 turns here, you can have a bunch of signs and a bunch of signs coming all the way up. And then if you have the nerve, I've seen people take signs all the way down off ramps on the right-hand side. The moment they get off, the moment people are getting off the freeway, sign, make a right. I mean, crazy, right?
Yeah.
So signage is everything. So how many signs do you think would be a good amount for example, let's use this one, okay? And so we'll go ahead and take. So we've got 59th Avenue, not 59th Avenue, sorry, this is the 101, basically Beardsley, comes straight across, right? You got 59th Avenue, okay? And then we've got, what was it? Mohawk coming off this way. Woo! And then you've got your turn to go down 57th. Right? And then the home's like right here. Yeah. Okay. So. All right, 57th. Okay. So what would you do?
Let's see. So, like you said, you get 25 signs, maybe 30 signs. You would probably put some along 59th Avenue for traffic going, which way would that be?
Okay. So you have traffic would be coming, flowing this way.
Yep.
You got traffic going to be coming this way.
Mm-hmm.
You got traffic coming this way. And then over here coming from the other side, they'll be making the left and coming over that way. Right?
So probably along the 101 area, like on the.
So for the people making left?
Yep. So they can see it, and then on.
Okay.
I would imagine this side.
So on the off ramp here, you would put like 2 or 3 here for the left-hand turn people?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay.
And so once they turn, so they could see them coming here.
Okay. So you got we're missing like the whole overpass here. So pretend this is like a big intersection, right?
Okay.
So let's say that over here, once they made that turn, you got like the gas station over here, right? So right here on the side of the road, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Along the way, once they make that turn? Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
So they can see it as they're turning, and then.
So about how far away? Because that's another really good question. Because some people put them so far away that it's almost like, where's the next one? And they think they missed it. Other people will put them so close together that it's almost redundant. Mm-hmm. If you have 150 signs, fine, be redundant. But there's a better use of them. You know what I mean? We could reach that much further out.
Maybe about 6 yards apart.
Okay, that seems to be a good distance.
Yeah.
It's really hard to say. Yeah, sometimes you get away with a couple 100 feet. If it's a flat road, couple 100 feet. If you're in an intersection turning and there's a bunch of turns, you're going to have to be very on top of it.
Yeah.
If you're trying to get people's attention, such as like the off ramp, if you could put 10 signs right there on that off ramp, just to get people's attention, that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then scatter just enough, to keep their attention to make them know. So for example, you would have one here on this corner. I would probably have one on that corner. If it were me, I'd try to get one on the, if there's a median, I'd try to get one on the median. Okay. But then think about it this way. If people are going 45 miles an hour, how much time do they need to slow down to be able to make that turn conveniently? Hold on, sweetie, So you got to figure they're going to need probably, a couple 100 feet, easy to slow down, right? And then if you get one out here to make them think about it, hey, look, there's an open house. What are you thinking? Blah, blah, blah. They're going to need 10, 20, 30 seconds to talk about it, probably. Yeah. Right? It's not like a open house, stop the car, if only. So exactly. So you need to give them warning, give them time to slow down, give them time to think about it, right? So we're going to stack it up here. I think we said no less than 3, but more is more on this one, right? For the off ramp coming right. It's easy for people to make right-hand turns. For the people going straight, they're already on the way. Yeah. Right? For a person to make a left-hand turn, it's a little tougher, right? If they're in the right-hand lane, they have to cut over. But if they're stuck in the left-hand turn lane, right next to that rail or the curb, sign, that gives them time to think about it. So right here, that left-hand turn sign is huge, and that's a pretty busy one. At any point in time, there's going to be like 50 cars there. Yeah. See, this is the analytical part. I have fun with this because I challenge myself to get the most people through my open house possible. Yeah. Right? And this is just the logistics of it, right? How many signs are you going to need to take with you? Plan ahead. Don't ever be caught off guard by 4. If there's 7 turns to get to the house and you didn't bring enough signs, oops. Yeah, oops. Okay? So, and that's where more is more. So then they go on Mohawk, and then obviously you're going to have 3 signs or so there. And then right there at the house, you're going to have, maybe one across the street. And then whatever it is, like a blow up guy, big banner flag, whatever it might be. We actually have several of those too. I forgot about our big banners. Oh, yeah? Yeah. I'm fired. Yeah. Remember to mention those to people again. Because we have 2 of those. And yeah, somebody took our well, dude, stuck. It was a hot commodity. It got so much traffic. Unfortunately, I think it got too many eyeballs because, it came out We didn't have it before. We didn't have it. Yeah. Anywho, okay. So how many signs then? Okay, let's stick with what we started with originally. So let's go with 3 or 4 for the right-hand turn. Okay, let's go with 4 just because we're good agents. Okay, 4 for that turn. Let's say 3 or 4 for this turn as well, the left-hand turn, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then while they're on the overpass, that's a little tough. So we're saying once you're on circle, once they pass and they're actually on 59th Avenue, you're going to have 1 to get their heads up, you know, like right there. And then you're going to probably have another 1 or so little ways up. And then it's going to get to the time where, oh, man, we need to start thinking about turn braking. So you have your third one, and then 1, 2, 3 really fast, getting their attention to turn. Okay. And then if you have one in the median and 1 across the street, just so there's, you know, you tracked them. Yeah. It's like, there's no doubt about it. This is the turn.
Yeah.
And that's how you get away with the other ones, because if there might be a turn in here, right? But if they see 3 signs up here, they know not to turn here.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we were talking about is don't be worried about that. With proper signage, there's not going to be any question. You need to go straight.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if every single one of them says right-hand turn, right-hand turn, right-hand turn, right-hand turn. As long as they can see the signs coming up, they'll never turn before they're supposed to.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 signs there. Okay, and then you got your turn here. So we got 1, 2, 3, no less than that. And then you might need 1 here just to let them know. And then you got 2 or 3 at the actual house itself. Okay, so right on the surface, 4, 8, 16, 19, 20, 23 signs.
At least 25, 30.
And that's just to do a good job. You can always go more.
Yeah.
If you want to take 30, go for it. You have more.
Because you can also put some down on that side.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. But in most circumstances, if you're going to do a proper signage job, you can almost guarantee you're going to need at least 20 signs, unless you're like this house right here. But even then, what can you do with more?
Yeah, do more.
It'll always come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
More better.
Absolutely. Okay. So now that we know which house, okay? So let's kind of establish. In Arizona, I would, and there's no stats behind this, but I'm just gonna kind of throw it out there. Your average person, the majority of people looking for a home, let's say that, okay? Everybody has their own needs, but if you had to put a majority to the perfect home, it would be a 1-story home, approximately 2,000 square feet, 3 to 4 bedrooms, has to have at least 2 baths. But if it's that 1-story with a 2.5 bath, especially 1-story, that is even better, right? With a pool, with a 3-car garage. That is the perfect home most people would kill for in the valley. Okay, 2-story homes definitely have their place, but given the amount of retirees, snowbirds, resort people, vacation homes, rental properties, 1-story homes just definitely have a place.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've established the home, we've established the area, we've established picking the perfect home. Now let's get back to touching on other people's listings before we officially move on. Other people's listings. Here's the majority of what you're going to run into. Okay. Let's say you call me because you want to do an open house on my listing this week. Thinking ahead, what might I have a problem with or why?
Maybe you want to do it on the house?
I might, which would be valid. That would be valid. If I'm doing an open house, I win.
Yeah.
You know, it's my listing, I win. You know, but if I'm not doing open house, how does that look? Am I doing a great job?
No.
Are you kind of pointing that out?
Yeah.
Most of the people who are going to give you pushback, it's because they're feeling a little insecure at the moment.
Okay.
You're doing something they probably know they should be doing.
Yeah.
Okay. And if it's an occupied home, do you think that agent is going to necessarily be too keen on saying, hey, you know, if they frame it perfectly, which, you know, we do regularly with our agents, hey, one of my agents wants to do an open house this week. Is that cool? You know, hey, one of our friends over here is another agent, blah, blah, wants to do an open house. Is that cool? It's not bad. It doesn't have to be that way. But agents will automatically take it as if you're threatening them.
Okay.
All right? And you'll hear that, oh, our brokerage doesn't allow it. May or may not be true. Don't push back on that one. If they say that, don't. But if the agent's, well, I'm not so sure, it's like, well, no, look, please, I'll take care of it. And if I bring a buyer, great. But if there's other represented people, look, I don't get anything from it, so whatever. I'm just trying to help you. It's a win-win, hopefully. They won't have an issue. If you can bring traffic through, they never know who the right buyer is, right?
Yeah.
So is the likelihood going to be that they're going to find the buyer for that home at your open house? Statistically speaking, no. If you do enough of them, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? One single open house, it's very hard to predict anything.
Yeah.
But is there a chance?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the chance there if they don't do an open house? So there you go. Do they have anything to lose? No. So if you're choosing an outside home from an outside brokerage, make sure it's vacant. That's not a battle you want to disrupt another owner for your open house, right? Yeah. If it's your brokerage, it's a different story, but for an outside, there's lots of vacant homes in the Valley. And if they give pushback, don't just yield. It's just them feeling whatever. If it's a good home, good value, you really want to do it, they don't really need to feel threatened, okay? So most of the pushback is either going to come from ignorance or from them feeling threatened, okay? Oh, we're not allowed to. I bet you are, because technically every single, and here's the trump card. If you really want the trump card, technically, we talked about this earlier, listings. They are the property of who or what? The brokerage, right? The brokerage. If the broker got asked, hey, can I do an open house at this listing? Would any broker at any point in time say no? Exactly. Right? So fundamentally speaking, would your broker want me to do an open house if you're not going to do one this weekend? Probably. Yeah. That is the trump card, okay? Use it wisely. Don't be a jerk. We're friends with everybody.
Yeah.
But that is the fundamental fact. Are you doing anything and everything you can and should be doing to sell this home? Probably not. So you probably should let us do it, please. If we're not doing it, somebody should be doing it if the owners are allowed. Right? Cool. Okay. So now that we moved on from that one, and it may take you 4 or 5 calls to get one. Okay. So don't give up. If you make 10 calls to listings, guarantee you'll get one. Okay. All right. So now that we've figured out which home we're going to be doing, we know approximately how many signs it's going to take. So when are we going to do it? Let's get into some times. Okay. So understandably, sorry. I think late notice, just less pushback. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Timelines. Historically speaking, weekends. Absolutely, right? Yeah. But what's your opinion on weekdays?
I would not have a problem with weekends, because most people nowadays aren't off just on Saturday, Sunday. Some people have the weekdays off, so it would be better for them to have some sort of open house during the week, so they would be able to do it.
Okay.
Possibly also more attractive because of people coming home from work too.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you have it at a good time, like let's say 3 to 6, you're getting that perfect rush hour. Maybe people, they're saying, hey, there's an open house, let's go check it out right after work.
Yeah, I would. You're pretty right on there. The after school crowd, right? It starts with that, so about 3 o'clock. Yeah, and then straight up through. I would actually just take it one step further until 7, because a lot of people get off at 6.
Okay, yeah.
So you want to catch that crowd too, right? Usually rush hour. Whenever rush hour ends between 6 and 7. So after dark, not so much, and don't be dangerous. Grabbing signs in the middle of the night is not happy. Chances of getting hit by a car, so many other things are not good, right? Yeah. So try to end them before dark if possible, unless it's one of those open house events like a broker event or a neighbor event, in which case you'll have lights and stuff out, but you're not. I mean, obviously, signs aren't going to attract people in the dark if they can't see them.
That's true.
So, yeah, but that's perfect. Exactly. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. There really is no bad time for an open house, but there are primer times than others, right? 10 o'clock on a Tuesday is probably not going to get the highest amount of traffic, but can I say you're not going to get any? No, never. And can you get the buyer? Absolutely. Right? You never know. But if you're going to do one daily, What would be a good time? Oh, 3 to 7 would probably be good if you don't have any other appointments that afternoon, right? You could be making your phone calls in the morning, do your open house at night, or be on appointments in the morning, do your open house, make phone calls from your open house. You know, your schedule can always be broken up into a morning and an afternoon, or even morning, afternoon, evening, right? And then you have weekends. So you can do a morning open house, an afternoon open house, an evening open house, or you can do an all-day event. You know, you can do one in the morning and go to another house in the afternoon. There's no wrong or right answer. But statistically speaking, if you do it between 3 and 7, you're going to get higher traffic. Now, here's a great debate. I love this. And in my opinion, it really depends on what's happening. Saturdays versus Sundays.
Yeah, like you said, it does really depend. Because if you got football season in, Sundays are going to be a horrible day.
You got it. If it's a good home and you have the game on and you actually advertise having the game, it actually helps.
Oh, it does?
It does. But yeah, Sundays during, like, for example, Cardinals games, it's either going to be feast or famine, right? Same thing with rain, feast or famine. People who would come in to get out of the rain, or nobody will stop ever. It's funny. But Saturdays, there's no bad Saturday at all, right? As of late, we've been finding that mornings aren't as good as they used to be.
Oh, really?
Okay. We've been getting this huge rush around 2 or 3 o'clock.
Okay.
So we used to go from like 10 to 2 or from like 8 to noon, depending on your schedule, right? And the 8 to noons, we're getting very little traffic. The 10 to 2s, we're almost staying after every single time because people were showing up right at 2 o'clock. So by switching to 11 to 3, we've been averaging a little more.
Okay.
But that's just averages, right?
Yeah.
I think people are sleeping in later or whatever. And on Saturdays, that's just when people get up and around. You know, you have your, what do they call it? Yard sale people, you know, that come out in the mornings. But I think even during the summertime, those slow up a big time, right? I don't know.
It's hotter.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to go out.
Yeah, exactly. So recently we've been seeing 11 to 3. So if you're going to pick one Saturday, do an 11 to 3. It seems to be a really, really good time. Okay. Sundays, same thing. Although Sundays typically the after church crowd. So if you're going to start around noon and go till 4 or so, that's what from the feedback I've been getting from the agents and other conversations, that seems to be the best times. Okay. So overall, let's say we're going to do a schedule and we're going to tackle open houses every single day. Perfect world. We would do what? We would say 3 to 7, 3 to 7 Monday through Friday. And then an 11 to 3 or an 11 to 4 on a Saturday. Yeah. And then like a noon or an 11 to 4 on a Sunday. Yep. That would be, if you did all of those, I imagine you'd end up with a bunch of leads. Yeah. That'd be sweet. Cool. All right. So any questions on times, anything that we've covered so far? All right. Now the real nitty gritty. How do you plan, prep, and advertise for your mega open house? And this is huge, okay? Most people, I think your average agent, what do they say? Puts out 7 signs, sends out an email blast, and puts out 1, maybe 2 posts on their social media, and that's it, okay? If you were having a birthday party, is that how you would invite people to your birthday party? If you were going to be having one of the best celebrations ever, throwing a huge event, would you just send out 1 email, not call anybody? Would you send out 2 posts on Facebook? No, man, no. Seriously? What would you do? If you were going to hold the best party ever, how much advertising, how many phone calls, and how many emails would you, and text messages too, would you send out legitimately?
Much as possible. Like literally post it on every, real estate page on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter, make ads for it, flyers out if you have to. If you really want to, you can do direct mail. All kinds of stuff that you can really do to get it out there. Calling a bunch of people,
There's so many things. Absolutely. Yeah. So now in contrast, does it make sense that why your average agent only gets a couple people through their open house?
Yeah.
That
effort?
Yeah. If you add in the amount of signs, the amount of advertising, potentially the times and days, if you factor all that in, it's pretty obvious why a lot of people don't have the success.
Mhm.
So let's schedule it. Okay. So I'm going to share the screen here because I have a couple cool things to show. We have here at Breakthrough several checklists and things to use to help you get massive turnouts to every open house. So number one, what happened? Here we go. Okay, so number one of the things that you'll definitely want to do is start off with a checklist. We've talked many times about how pilots, for example, do pilots are they probably competent at being able to fly the plane?
Oh yeah.
Okay, can they nail it? Probably 98% of the time after a few years of having to start and do a plane, right? But do they still use a checklist every single time?
Guarantee it.
Okay, why?
Nothing's ever missed.
It guarantees perfection every single time. If I was flying a plane, I'm sorry, 99% is not good enough. You know, I have to almost have a guarantee we're going to get to that destination, and I don't want any risk of winging it and forgetting something. Same thing with an open house, only instead of our life, it's our livelihood.
Mm-hmm.
Think of it as the same thing. It's not your life, it's your livelihood. Are we going to have a successful event that's going to bring us a return or not? As much as I love hanging out with people, this is my livelihood. If I don't get a return on our money or time, it's pointless, right? And so many people have pointless events because of how they set them up.
Yeah.
It's so sad. Oh, so here we go. The checklist. This is our checklist, okay? So Monday, pick your home. Remember the location, few turns, see, basically breaks down everything we talked about, right? Monday, what are you going to do pretty much? Get in contact with title for open house flyers. And then what can you do? Tackle the nearest neighbors, right? If it's a good neighborhood, do people like knowing their neighbors? If it's a happy neighborhood, do people have friends and family that potentially might appreciate it? Do they have somebody that knows the area? There's a lot. Neighbors serve a function, but their other function is for us to impress the crap out of them. Mm-hmm. Showing them what we do to get homes sold, or to find buyers, right? So even if it's not necessarily for them to show up, what are we doing? We are impressing them. So if they think about listing, huge part of open houses. And that is probably 50% of the battle is impressing the neighbors. Once one home sells in that neighborhood, 2 or 3 more sell immediately. That's what we're going for. Okay. So having a good title partner or having a good, like Listing Power Tools, for example, is who I use. And I love their quality. No offense against title companies, but I love having it branded to me. And the quality that they use, the pictures they use is awesome. And I have a certain method that I have, and they have like a packet that sends door hangers, thank you cards, things to put there at the table, things for the neighbors, stats with all kinds of restaurants and everything for the neighbors. It's a really awesome packet. So from having stuff there to the door knocking to the entire week, it basically has it. It's the power pack, I think is what they call it, from Listing Power Tools. So highly recommend that. But title, they will help out greatly. Either paying for them to get done, you just have to co-brand them, or they might even partner with you and show up at your open house. Having a lender or a title partner literally there and contributing with snacks, drinks, other fun stuff, perfect. So Monday or Tuesday, plan ahead. Okay, if it's going to be Saturday or Sunday, Monday or Tuesday is very pivotal to having all your marketing materials, flyers, everything taken care of, right? So Tuesday, put on Realtor, Zillow, Trulia, all your other websites, right? Make sure you have it there and fluff it up a little bit. If you just put on open house, great. Okay, are you going to have drawings? Are you going to have people there? Are you going to have title partners? Is there going to be wine? Is there going to be a bounty house? Is there going to be a band, a barbecue? Sell it. Even on those, there's little description parts, right? Having free food, free lunch, believe it or not, you're not going to spend as much as you think, and you're going to get a better turnout than you thought. Okay. Same thing with a decent drawing, which we'll get into. Okay. So moving on, we got Wednesday, door knocking the nearest neighbors. give flyer, invite them and anyone they know. Okay. So we've handed out stuff to neighbors. We've talked to neighbors. Now we're inviting them specifically. In general, if you have it's a higher end homes, for example, wine events, dinner events, very nice. Okay. Private viewings, private tours, private whatevers. People love the exclusivity, right? For an average home, inviting them to a barbecue. Okay, hey, we're gonna have a smoker truck out front. Come on by. I know you guys aren't gonna probably buy this house, but you might know somebody. Hint, hint, impressing them still, right? So they see our flyers. We're knocking on their door. We're inviting them specifically. Huge benefits overall, right? Okay, so moving on. We still got Wednesday going. Bomb Bomb. By bomb bomb, what do I mean?
Is that
it's a video texting thing.
Yeah.
So now we have line desk, and so you can send bomb bombs to the nearest neighbors, right? Through many programs, Monsoon, everything. We can get the neighbors' information, right? And so to all your contacts, phones, teaser video to all your contacts, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, literally anywhere and everywhere you can, right there. Everywhere you possibly can. And if possible, boost it, right? You can boost to that general area. If it's a $200,000 home, you can boost it to people that are looking for affordable homes or investors. There's a lot of different breakdowns. People move every 5 years. So you could actually send it to people who have owned their home for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. On the flip side, you have using the demographics. It's amazing to figure out who's moving to places and from places. Right. You're going to find that during certain times of year, people will move from suburbs into the city and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right. People, if you know where people are coming from, you target where they're at and get them to come. Right. So planning ahead and knowing all the different demographics. If you have, let's say, a horse property, okay, who might you want to put it out to?
Horse owners.
Horse owners, exactly. Rodeo people, all kinds of, equestrian people, right? If you have a workshop, who might you put out to? If you have a big 6-car garage, who might you best advertise to? How often around in almost every area on a Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, are there car things going on in different subdivisions and shopping centers?
Yeah.
Okay. Popping out with flyer. Hey, check this out, guys. You might appreciate this. Thinking ahead. There's so many great ideas for open houses and targeting and actually getting people to your home. Okay. Hey guys, come out to my open house this weekend at Arrowhead Ranch. Okay, no, like why? What appeals to me about that, right? Hey, check out this beautiful home. We're gonna have free food. Even if you're not interested, it's still worth taking a look at this home because you got to check out this view. Hey, invite your friends. They might be interested. It's not much greater, but there's a greater likelihood I'll swing by. Hey, there's free food and a great view.
Yeah,
I'm down to see a beautiful home. So all that little bit. If you're there at that shopping center, would those people have seen your house otherwise, per se? Probably. No. Okay. If you're in an active adult community, there's plenty of them on social media. Don't get me wrong. But is there a benefit to going to the community center there and putting it on the billboard and the bulletin board that almost every single one of them have?
Yeah.
That thing probably gets more eyeballs than almost anything in the whole valley. I mean, the whole area. You just got to target and know who you're going for. And that's the beauty of planning and targeting the home, right? We know what we're looking for. This home has this. Perfect. Let everybody know. Okay. So you got the bomb. You're sending it out to everybody from Facebook, Twitter, everything. You're going to target shopping centers, anything that you could think of that might attract people this weekend. Okay. So that finishes up Wednesday. It's all teasers. Okay. So Thursday, you're making sure it's posted in the MLS, and Saturday's open. There's benefit to hot sheets and hot lists, right? If you do any price drops, pitch changes, updates, anything, it shows up on hot lists. Okay. So Thursday is a great day to do stuff because it'll show up on the hot list throughout the next 3 days. Okay. So not only are they going to see your open house, but it shows up as something happened to the listing in general. Price drop, new info, whatever it might be. So Thursday is a great day to kind of any editing or anything in the MLS you're going to do it then. Okay. Thursday, remind people to come out, post another Facebook video, right? You're reminding people this is your party. Yeah. You want people to show up, right? Different reasons to come out. We're going to have food. We're going to have a drawing. We're going to have drinks. We're going to have music. It's a flipping gorgeous home that's once in a lifetime, whatever it might be. Hey, this is a smoking great deal. If anybody's looking for an investment property, you might want to consider this. Come on by. If anybody's not local, call me. I'll take a video and walk you through the house myself. There's a lot of cool things. So Thursdays, remind people to come out, post another video. Thursday, post on the event page, Facebook, make an event. And you can even do it sooner, but you just have to remember to keep reminding people about it, right? So invite everyone. Make an actual event and then send it out to all of your contacts. Invite them to your stuff. But make it creative and make it fun, make it stand out just a little bit best possible. Okay, so Friday, sending a reminder out to all your contacts and for your stuff, for your open on Saturday. Then Friday, post a flyer, send an email. I mean, you could see breakdown every single day, how much you can really do. Okay. Now, realistically, would you do everything on that list?
I would try to do it. Yeah.
Okay. You don't have to do every single thing, but anywhere between where most agents start and here is great, So try to tackle as much as possible in the meantime. Okay, so this is the open house prep checklist that we have. Now, Tom Ferry, my coach, he has a different sample, kind of marketing plan, and it's a little bit different, and it's a little easier. Okay, so Monday, record a video in black. Tuesday, email your video to your database, post this video on Facebook and your seller's Facebook too. Always try to friend your sellers, get it out to their people too, because they'll actually see it and be impressed. A lot of owners don't see everything we do, and they're questioning it. If you're broadcasting it on their page regularly or Instagram, whatever, they see it. It's a good thing. So Wednesday, get the word out, send invitations by mail or door knock. Thursday, door knock or mail to expired listings in the area. And then Sunday, put out as many signs as possible in the morning, have a seller's lunch, and then do your open house in the afternoon. And then follow up afterward. So it's pretty straightforward there. But here's what I loved. They actually have a verbiage for talking to neighbors.
Really?
Yes. So let's go ahead and come back out here really quick and share. Perfect. Okay. So here's the sample. Okay. So hello, blank. My name is Josh with Breakthrough Real Estate, and I'll be hosting a special open house at blah, 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 West Bird Street on Saturday from 1 to 4. Did you know this home was for sale? Anyway, hand them the flyer, okay? I promised the seller I would get word out to the neighborhood, and I was curious, who do you know that might want to live in our area, right? And then 2, after they answer, it's like, wonderful. Again, it's Saturday from 1 to 4. Feel free to stop by. I'd love to show you the home, right? And then from there, when you're getting ready to leave, you're like, oh, by the way, have you considered selling your home? And of course, you're like, once you go to Sales Edge, I actually haven't gone through this one for the Sales Edge for the open house, but I'm pretty sure Bill Pipes, who probably teaches this class, is, have you considered selling your home? Lean in and be like, yes, you have, right? All those subtle cues. And that's, again, face-to-face, right? Can't beat it. So it's just a great thing. Hey, my name is Josh Ezell with Breakthrough Real Estate, and I'll be hosting an open house at 23 Bird Street on Saturday from 1 to 4. Did you know this home was for sale? And on the flyer, I promised the seller that I would get word out to a whole neighborhood. And I was curious, who do you know that might want to live in the area? Oh, great. That's wonderful. I'll give someone a call. Again, it's this Saturday from 1 to 4. Feel free to stop by. I would love to show you the home. Okay, personal. I would love to show you the home, right? And then, by the way, have you ever considered selling your home? Perfect segue. It's awesome. So keep that in mind. We got a lot of cool scripts. We got a lot of different things like that. So I want to mention that. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue through different. Once you get them to the house, right? We know we're going to be sending out flyers, emails, text messages, calling your database, calling all of your leads. I mean, that's the week prior leading up to it. Okay, it's now the day of. All right, what are you going to have at your open house? We have all the signs. You know, it's all there. Okay, now. What did you do to get them through the door? Did you offer a gift card? Did we have food? You know, what was it that brought them through the door? Make sure you have that up front, prominent, and give them every reason to give you information. Okay? So, for example, food, right before they get to the food, make sure there's a sign in. Hey, by the way, we're offering this free food. As a courtesy or whatever, you know, please give us your information. You give something to them, they will give something to you. Okay. Up front, it's very important to have all your signage and everything. Okay. So it's not just showing up and it's not just putting signs out. You actually have to set the mentality of people ready to buy a home. And here's some great tips for that. Okay. So I'm going to start getting rid of these as we use them. Okay. So the next one here is at the door, okay? And there's different versions of these. You can do the fluffy ones with logos on it or anything, but it's the gist that matters, okay? What does this say? For seller's request and for safety, right? Safety, guests are asked to, boom, required to sign in to the guest registry, okay? Do you have just one of these on the front door or do you have these posted around about 3 different times? Exactly. Right? The more they see it, they will understand it's not just a request, it's required for safety and for the owner and everything. Okay? So you make sure to have that repeatedly, front door throughout. It doesn't have to be like, boom. I like that one because it is very blunt. There's a couple different versions that we have that you can use. But, okay. So signage. I'm old school. A lot of people are old school. Okay? So if I'm not saying that one is better than the other, I'm actually saying have both. Okay? If you have that tech-friendly, savvy person, have the online sign-in and be like, boom, 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 it'll ping them and you got it, you're rocking, right? But for so many people, they're not used to that. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to give you. Some people think it's cool. Great, tackle those. But have an actual sign-in sheet in several different places there too, right? And this one, just basic name, address, phone number, and any notes, right? There's other ones we have too that have, oh, here's our other one. Thank you for visiting our open house. Per owner's request for safety, all visitors are required to sign in. Thank you. You know, just a very basic one there. But there's another one. It was I think the Home Depot. Okay, so you have they're required to. You have your sign-in sheet. You have your other either online one or whatever. Have your MLS opened, because that's what we're going to try to segue to, and that is the prime opportunity. So make sure no matter what, you have your computer open to the MLS. We'll get back to that later, okay? So name, address. I have address on there because sometimes people do give you their address, and you find out that they're a homeowner and whatnot. Any notes, and that's actually for them, but it's also for me. I come back after the fact, and kids, families' names, anything that I could remember, I actually come back and write them down just for the sake of, okay? So I like this one because it has all that. All right, mandatory, and have this in 2 or 3 spots. Absolutely. You don't want people to have to struggle to sign in anywhere. Yeah. Okay. So as we move on, what are you going to do to get their information? The bigger the gift, the more likely people will give it to you. The better we advertise and the better we actually get word out about said gift and said events going on at the open house, the more likelihood we're going to get a bigger turnout, which furthers the circle that you can offer a better gift. Okay. If you offer a $5 Circle K gas card, how far is that going to get people? Right? It's it's almost, and I hate to say it, but it's almost not worth their while. But $5 is still $5, right? So $20 gift certificate to Starbucks. People love Starbucks. People will give you information. One of the best ones I've actually had was this. A $50 Home Depot drawing registry, and it can be to whatever, right? The house I was at for this one, I switched it purposely to Home Depot because I think it was more of a handyman special type home. Okay. But if it's a high-end home, pick whoever you want. But I found $50 seems to get people into it. Yeah. Okay. And if you do the cost breakdown, if you can average 10 sign-ins per open house, okay, that'll be one every 2 open houses. You're going to get a prime client. Okay. 2 open houses, prime client. If you do even just 1 a week, that's 2 a month. It's worth the couple $100 a month to do the open houses.
Yeah.
It seriously is, because you'll be making no less than $4,000 per month from your open houses. So if you're afraid to spend money to bring people, you're not going to bring the people. Okay. If you're willing to put it out there, but you have to follow through with everything else.
Yeah.
Otherwise it will let you down. Don't make that self-fulfilling prophecy. Go above and beyond. And I'm telling you, you will be pleasantly surprised. And not every open house is perfect, unfortunately. Oh my gosh. Done several that were huge preps and had nobody show up. Weather crap happens. Things happen, right? On the flip side, there have been many more that have averaged more than average.
Yeah.
Definitely kills the ones that didn't show up.
Yeah.
You know, in 10 years, I think there's like 3 or 4 maybe total. So, all right. And social media is making it that much better and that much easier to actually get word out about open houses.
Yeah.
So got to love those. Okay. Now, making people feel at home, creating the atmosphere. Okay. So we have the sign-in sheets. We have the open house, everything. You have the gift card set up. So when people walk in, what are they seeing? Right? Have a nice display. Okay. Help them feel at home. When you walk through the door, what are the first things that hit you as senses wise? What are the things?
They're set up properly. It looks presentable.
Visually,
yeah.
Right? Is this a pretty thing I'm seeing when you walk through the door? Okay. When people come through your open house, you don't want to be standing right there like, hey, they're not here to see you. You're not going to, no offense, you're not going to sell the home.
Yeah.
Right? Have something beautiful. So when they come in, either step aside or have something else that's available for them to see, like a pretty display with either like the flowers or something, or a cool setup for all of your materials, right? But don't let it impede the flow of the home.
Yeah.
So let it complement it. All right. It's very important that when people walk through the door, they get that great feeling. And this is why I love this sign. The colors they used, the fonts, the change in everything, it is a very welcoming sign. Welcome to my open house. Look around, ask questions, see yourself living here, fall in love, make an offer. You know, it sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Right. So I love this. This was at Tom Ferry Summit, and you can put your logo there at the bottom, right? And if you have like a little stand and just have that kind of set aside right next to your display, right next to your nice drawing, beautiful, right? Several people that if you look at if you join all the Facebook groups with realtors, you're going to see a lot of people post, and they have certain setups that they do, and they advertise. We had 100% sign in today, 100% sign in rate, and they had like 12 people, something like that, right? 100% people signed in with the right setup when they walk in. Okay, so look wise, obviously,
yeah,
nailed it, right? What are some other things that we could do to stack the deck in our favor?
Maybe like the smell.
Exactly. No, you nailed it. What can we do and why?
Maybe bring some, I don't know, cookies, or bake something, or maybe candles, something to attract people to come into the home.
Perfect. You nailed it. Yeah. Either have some nice candles, some air fresheners, you know, either the plug-in kind. Several people have gotten permission. Be very, very careful. Okay. Don't want any liabilities of burning houses down, but there have been several people who have baked cookies right then and there. Right. Part of what they do at their open houses is create that atmosphere,
yeah,
right? To go along with that, you have smell, sight. What's another one?
Oh, hearing.
Music.
Yeah.
Yep. What kind of music? You know, depending on the home.
Kind of like my old boss called it housewife music.
It depends on the home. Yeah, it really depends on the feel. You know, if you're at a horse property, you might want to pick appropriate music. If you're at downtown, you might want to pick appropriate music. If it's a high-end home, I want to pick appropriate music. You know, Sun City, appropriate music. You know, there's a lot of different demographics out there. You might have everything from techno to classical to, you know, just it could be anything, right? Just choose it properly. Because my friend Josh, man, if he walked in, you're playing classical music, he would have kicked you out. If it was anything but country, because he's country through and through, and you would know it the moment you walked into that house, and he has a horse property. So, you know, if it was anything but that, and obviously those people, if they walked into the house and you were playing rap music, probably not as cohesive as, you know, as if they were walked into country. It's like, oh, this is home, you know, make it fall in line, right? And try to be as neutral as possible. You know, I'm not to say that there's like Christian music or anything like that, but again, stay away from religious stuff. There's nothing wrong with Christian music, and I respect everybody for doing it, but just don't step on toes if you don't need. It's not your home. You're selling other people's homes, so it's not the place for us to place our prerogative. Yeah. You know, if it was my storefront and people are coming in, they could choose to do this or not. You know, that's a judgment call on your part. But I would try to stay as neutral as possible. Okay, try to stay with, like, you know, heavy metal, you know, the extremes, any of those. Yeah. Let's see. We kind of blew through today's stuff. This was kind of cool. Yeah. The next part is actually, so the final kind of couple things to wrap up. Showing the home. Yeah. Okay. When people come in and you're like, hey, sign into my open house. Is that welcoming? No, right?
Bit aggressive, demanding.
Yeah, yeah. When people walk into my open house, I don't want to say I yield to them, but I'm much softer up front. Okay. Hey, thank you so much for coming on by. My name's Josh. You know, can I get you whatever it might be? So like oftentimes I'll have bottles of water. It's like, hey, thank you so much for coming by. You know, it's hot outside. Can I grab you guys a bottle of water or anything? Right. And I let them kind of get acclimated first, and then I come back. Yeah. Right. And then we start talking. On the flip side, hey guys, thank you so much for coming on in. Give me 1 second. Let me grab the papers and stuff for you, and let them kind of walk around. And then I'll come in and say, hey, thank you. My name's Josh. Coming on by. Right. I don't pounce on them right up front. I kind of give them an intro, back off a little bit, and then I try to bring them something of value to show that's kind of my generic rapport building quick.
Kind of like put the fish tank. Put them in a bag, let them warm up, and then open up into the tank.
There you go. Perfect. Right. And then as they're walking through the home, I guide, but I almost kind of stay behind and let them kind of go through unless there's certain things that I really want to make sure. Right. And then I will chime in kind of asking questions and pointing out things. Right. So let's say they walk in and they're like, oh, you know, I really like this open floor plan. Oh, that's great. You know, the owner took out a wall when they redid this house to make this open floor plan feel. So is that something that's important to you and what you're looking for? You know, or, hey, they talk about the bedrooms. It's like, oh, great. Well, how many bedrooms are you guys needing? You know, the more you ask questions, anything that they say, you tie it back in to ask them, oh, how does that feel for you? Is this what you're looking for? You know, trying to get the more information. Right? I'm not trying to sell them this house like this house is 12 by 12. They have brand new fans. This paint is amazing. You know, we're not talking about everything right there in front of them. It's more the feel, the experience. Is this something they could live in? Is this that stuff, right? They could walk in and be like, yeah, that's a remodeled kitchen. Like, check this out. This remodeled kitchen, the 42-inch cabinets, look at this. The owner specifically wanted as many cabinets in here as possible because they lived in this kitchen. Notice how the sink is faced out. So that way when you're here with your family and friends, you're looking out and you can actually take part while you're doing stuff, right? And they put in the second island over here because they wanted this to be the focal point of the home, right? And they're living there. They're seeing themselves physically being there, right? And they could see all that stuff. but it was showing that, hey, when you're watching the game, do you know you can see the TV over here? You know, those type of things. That's what they need to hear.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you're an electrician. Oh, by the way, did you see the garage? They have like 90 outlets out there. You know, the more you find out about them and what they're needing or what looking for, it fits.
Yeah.
By immediately taking over and spouting every obvious fact. This is a 2,000 square foot home built in 1974, 4 bedrooms. Here's a bathroom. Look, there's a toilet. There's 2 sinks. It's like, duh. Yeah. You know, anybody can see that. So, and that's where we come in. That's the selling part. That's the living part, right? Oh, hey, these people, by the way, they were the original owners. You know, they've put this in themselves. You know, this guy actually took pride in his home. You know, or hey, by the way, did I tell you that the sellers, they're moving up. They're having a baby. This is great news. You know, getting the heartstrings. You know, you can't share stuff you can't do, but anything that might help them realize and feel the home. I guess that's really what I'm trying to get at is become great at helping your people feel the home. And by you asking them the right questions, by default, you're building the rapport and learning about them. And by doing it properly, from starting and guiding them, hey, can I get you a glass of water? Hey, thanks for swinging by. This home is gorgeous. Oh, you mentioned about the open floor plan. Is that important to you? When we were over here, you were talking about, you know, the kids and stuff. So do they go to school in this area? Is that part of what you're looking for? All right, great. Hey, you said that this was kind of a small lot. So what kind of lot are you looking for? You know, any of those things. Hey, the kitchen, we have this brand new stuff, blah, 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 blah. Oh, that's great. You know, I really don't cook that much. You know what? You know, and you take those cues to find it. And at the end of that journey, which is hopefully a 10, 15-minute journey, you know, coming through the home, you're going to know, is this the right home for them? And we need to go here, or do I need to bring them back to my computer so we can help them try to find the right home?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's the kind of goals. At the end, are we going to get their information and try to get them on a portal and work with whatever they need? Or are we going to try to proceed with this home? You know, people will put themselves into it, right? So at the end, if you've built rapport, found out what they're looking for, really show that you're the expert, that you are a nice person that they can get along with, that has their best interest in mind, are they going to have any problems moving forward with you, even if this isn't the right home? Okay. A lot of people don't know that agents at that home aren't allowed to not sell that home. And they will actually keep you standoffish because they think you're a car salesman or a new home salesman. We aren't. It may or may not even actually be our listing.
Yeah.
We're here to help every single person. And hopefully they will like this home. But that's why we're here, because you have the wrong one until you find the right one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the wrong person until the very moment you have the right person come through that door. That's the only time you're going to sell that home is when you find that right person, right? So that's what we do. And that's where oftentimes owners and sellers kind of come back and they're like, well, I'm not sure open houses. I'm really, it's like, you're not wrong. I agree. Historically speaking, numbers wise, it's not great, but there have definitely been lots of people that have found their home at open houses.
Yeah.
So to cut that one off means that you already know it's not going to be, which nobody can do. And so let us hold that open house, right? And then same thing too. Let's just, let's finish up with this. If you haven't done it, one of the coolest things that you can do for like a FSBO, for example, if you're going to call them, is hold a free open house for them. Okay? And literally do it risk-free. I thank you, Joshua Smith, for this one. By doing a free open house, you're doing it risk-free for them. Even if you find a buyer that day, you're not going to take commission. It's going to be them, right? We know the odds behind it are not great. But it's a sign of good faith that we are giving them something and bringing traffic through. There's a really good chance in the next 60 days, if you do a free open house for a FSBO, that they will come back to you and list your home with you if you follow up with them, just because you did an open house for them. And hopefully you got some leads from that too.
Yeah.
So there is literally no bad open house. And more you put into your open house, the more you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
And as a new agent, if you make it a point to try every weekend that you're free or in the evening that you're free to do one, dude, you're going to rock. So that's today's training. Thank you so much for watching. This was actually pretty quick. So any feedback, please leave your comments below. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, and we're always looking for great agents at that. So if you enjoyed today's training or anything, give me a call, 602-821-7460. And have a great week, guys.